Yo, what's up guys, John Boogle here, and today it is the last Manic guide, Manic Chimera aka Maniac Titan. This level is pretty easy if you have the right strategy and units. Now if you do not have Cool Japan, you can use this lineup with the Team of 2 combo. This combo does work pretty well in this level too, so keep that in mind. But if you have Cool Japan, I suggest using that instead. And as you can probably tell, this is the no wave block / no wave immune lineup. We'll hop into the other strategy later in this video, but key thing to know is it's either you have level 30 Craze Cats or level 20 Manics, and there are many replacements for stuff in this level if you do not have these units you are seeing. Like if you do not want to use Manic Macho Legs, you can use stuff like Pizza, you can use stuff like Pole Vaulter, or the true form would be better, Housewife. That could work as well. If your King Dragon is pretty boosted in plus levels, you can use that. If your Macho is pretty boosted in plus levels, your Macho Legs Cat, you can bring that. A key thing here, if you are using basics, your King Dragon has to be at least level 45 to survive a Titan wave, and Macho Legs has to be at least level 53. So keep that in mind. Manic Macho Legs has to be at least level 23, and Manic King Dragon has to be at least level 27. And the lineup is pretty simple. It is pretty much the same thing as Craze Titan. One staller, that is Manic Macho. It does limit the waves as much as possible. This time we got Cool Japan because Manic Titan does have a lot of health. You could bring Valkyrie too if you do want to rely on freeze procs, and if your basics or Manics aren't too high leveled, you can do that. But since our Macho Legs can survive a wave, we're bringing that over King Dragon. Manic Macho does not have to be decently leveled at all. Level 20 is fine for this level. Cyborg, if you could get that boosted, this will become a lot more easier. Yeah, I'll hop into more suggestions when we get into the guide, but yeah, let's hop into it. Hold up, before we hop into it, make sure you get your ass in the Boogle Discord in the description below. Go join it there. There's monthly Nitro giveaways and it's pretty sick, so go down there and join the Boogle Discord. But yeah, let's hop into it now. So power-ups for this level, Rich Cat isn't needed. Sniper does help a lot though, so make sure you do bring snipers if you have it. In the beginning here, it's very simple. Just stall and try to get your cash stacked up as much as possible. Now the Gories are pretty ruthless in this level, so if you do have Pizza, I do recommend replacing it with Manic Macho Legs. Another good unit in this level is Seafarer, since it does have Survival Lethal Strike. And speaking of Survival Lethal Strike, Cameraman is also a very solid unit for this level. Now if you have an Uber by the name of Jizzo, it can replace Cyborg and it will one-shot the Gories, so Jizzo is a must for this level if you do have it. But the beginning is very simple. Just stack up, get your cash maxed out, and have a decent stack for when you do hit the base. It does not have to be a massive stack because they're most likely to get waved in the beginning, but it is nice to have a good stack to burst down the Titan or Chimera when it comes out. Now as you can probably tell, this is the same strat from Craze Titan, using only one staller that does limit the waves, allowing the Gories to knock back the staller so Manic Chimera misses his attacks, and that equals to less waves. Now Chimera will come out with a Shadow Boxer, and to take them out it's pretty simple. Your stack should be able to handle them. Just make sure you do stall every time you do get the chance, because you do not want to let your stack just completely die. But also keep in mind to not stall too much if there are no enemies paired with Manic Chimera, otherwise waves can be triggered. Now some key things to keep in mind here: do not mindlessly spam your attackers too much. If you run out of cash, you will run into big problems. Also, another reason why to not mindlessly just spam your attackers is because if you do get in the situation where the Manic Chimera is close to the base and he waves, you want to make sure you have your attackers up to defend against the Gories. The Manic Chimera isn't really the big problem when it does get close to the base. It's the Gories that are the issue because they can shred the base pretty quickly. Now if you want to be extra efficient in your knockbacks, you can disable sniper every time there is enemies in front of the Manic Chimera, but if you are using Manic Macho legs, most of the time they will be behind Manic Chimera unless you get unlucky. But the strategy once again is the same. Let the enemies take out the staller or knock back the staller so Manic Chimera misses his attack. And if there are no enemies supporting the Manic Chimera, then you can stop stalling or you can keep stalling and risk the waves. But if you do stop stalling, slowly the Manic Chimera will catch up to your ranged attackers and then he will most likely wave there anyways. Another very key thing is to cycle that Bahamut. Do not forget to use Bahamut too much. You want to cycle him as much as possible without running out of cash, obviously, but do cycle him because with Cool Japan he does a lot of damage. So if you aren't cycling Bahamut enough, it will cost you the level. Now of course we cannot limit all the waves in this lineup. There is some RNG still involved, so if you do get waved way too much, just make sure you might have to try a couple times because there is still a small amount of RNG involved in this strategy. And you must be wondering, hey Boogle, can't I just put an Octo in this lineup to counter the waves? Yes, you can, but that is only if your Octo is above level 33, because Octo does get bullied in this stage pretty heavily if you do not have it high enough level. There still is a way to use Octo in this level even if it is level 30, and you'll see that in the other lineup. There's also wave immune cats which are very solid for this stage. I would much rather use wave immune units than wave block units in this level, unless you pair up those wave block units with high range units, which I'll explain more in the next lineup. But all you need to do is keep this up for 7 to 10 minutes and Manic Chimera will finally go down. Then you get yourself Manic Chimera. And that wraps up the strategy for this level. Once again, if you do not have Cyborg, you can use stuff like Seafarer, Pizza Cat, Cameraman, Jizzo, Drama Cat. There's lots of replacements for Cyborg in this level, and I'll list more Uber replacements in the next lineup. But yeah, let's hop into it. And here we go. As you can see, our Octo is level 30 and we are bringing Cyberpunk, and you must be wondering why, and I'll explain that when we hop into the level. And instead of Manic Macho this time, we do have Manic Eraser. Now if you're using Octo in the previous lineup, I recommend using a defense up combo like the Team of 2 combo. But here we aren't relying on Octo to survive a hit from Manic Titan. We are solely using Octo for the purpose of defending our high range units from the waves. And as you can see in this lineup, our long range unit is Cyberpunk. And if you have Luffy, you can use that, and if you have other super long range units, you can use those and have Octo protect them with its wave block. It is pretty much the same thing, but instead you do not have to worry about triggering the waves. This time we can stack as much as possible. Only thing you have to worry about is cycling that Octo every time it is up. Otherwise, if you miss a cycle and the Manic Chimera waves, say goodbye to your Cyberpunk or whatever long range unit you are using. If you're using this strat, do not rely on Octo to protect your Dragon and Paris stack, because they will most likely die due to the waves. Since Octo does get bullied, it won't be able to wave block units that are close to Manic Chimera.
My heart and actions are utterly unclouded. They are all those of justice. You experienced it, didn't you? Only things of happiness and beauty gather towards the corpse. D4C, Love Train.
Now in this lineup, the way you have to use Octo is very weird. As Octo makes its way up to Manic Chimera, and let's say Manic Chimera triggers a wave, well, Octo will be in a position where it's in front of Cyberpunk and far away from Manic Chimera to block the wave and not die in the process, and then it'll save your long range units. In this case, it's Cyber. The rest is pretty simple, just keep on cycling that Octo to block the waves every time you get the chance, then just stack up everything else for the Manic Chimera. Now some Uber suggestions. First of all, of course, I'm gonna mention Jizo. If you didn't get it previously, make sure you do use Jizo if you have it, and that can replace Cyborg, and it is the ultimate replacement for Cyborg in this level. Another unit is KG, True Form KG to be exact, and he does have Wave Immune, and he can also destroy the Gories if he does get his strength in effect. Another solid unit, like I mentioned before, is Luffy. Any of the Fest exclusives sweep this stage pretty hard as well. There's also Little Valk with its Wave Immune. Also Shishi can pretty much carry this level too. And I can't just sit here and list all of the unharmed by wave units. Pretty much there's really no bad ones except for the Akuma Lion. But if you are struggling to find out which units are good, which Wave Immune units are good, list it down in the comments. Otherwise, just test it out if you are wondering. Oh, and I forgot to mention Cat Machine. The true form for Cat Machine also does work for Octo if you do not have Octo. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this strategy. You should have at least one Cyberpunk always there to crowd control the Manic Chimera, and just keep cycling Octo and your attackers, and eventually Manic Chimera will go down. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up this guide, the final Manic guide. Drop a like if this guide did help you out. Subscribe if you're new. Hype for all the Manic guides being uploaded, so make sure you do subscribe for that. Join the Google Discord. Link is in the description down below. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the Manic guides. More mid-game guides coming soon, and a very big one as well. That's it, guys. It's been John Boogle, and sayonara.